which I'm excited for. Again, welcome everyone to our very first Field Trip Friday.
Yeah, it's so wonderful to be with you. All right, so it looks like we are full on live. I just want to give one more shout out to Miss Godwin's class at Forest View Elementary. Great to be with you, kindergarten class there. Thank you for hosting us. It's so wonderful to have actual kind of students be with us, or to have us with them. That's really what this is all about. It's about trying to connect you, Durham Public School students, with as many STEM practitioners as we possibly can. So Jenna and I are really looking forward. We're going to show you a little video in a minute that describes kind of what we're talking about here, but we're really, really excited to take you virtually, of course. Someday, hopefully, we can take you in person, but for now, we're going to take you virtually to many, many cool places throughout our community.
Yeah, I don't think we didn't introduce ourselves. I'm Jenna, by the way, and we're at the Museum of Life and Science.
And my name's Steve, and you'll get a chance to kind of meet us even more in depth here in a minute. We've got this video for you, but we're super excited.
So excited to share this really fun experience that we had at the museum with you. And just like Steve said, so excited to go all around the triangle to share more experiences with you and get you guys asking some questions and staying curious about, our life here in the triangle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm super excited for you to kind of get introduced to the concept of Field Trip Fridays. And so we made this week's video is essentially an introduction to what Field Trip Fridays are. So we've done this, we filmed all over the museum, which is where we are today. It's my birthday today, so I have this happy birthday sign behind me, which was just completely accidental. We walked in this room and there it was. But
it felt like fate.
It did. It felt like it was appropriate. So here we are. We went all over the museum with kind of different types of experience that we might introduce in our Field Trip Friday. So you'll get a chance to kind of see the different kinds of things that can happen on a Field Trip Friday experience.
Do you think we should get started?
Yeah, I think we should show that video. And then y'all will, instead of me telling you what it's like, you can experience what it's like for yourself. So we're gonna go ahead and share that video with you.
Yes, and feel free, Miss Godwin's class, if you have any questions or wanna share some things that you notice in the chat, you're welcome to, and we'll be chatting with you while the video is playing.
Woohoo! Here we go.
Spoiler alert.
Got the shared computer sound.
Let's start it from the beginning.
Yeah, here we go.
My name's Steve Scholl. I'm a program manager here at the Museum of Life and Science. So Field Trip Friday is an awesome opportunity for us to go to places all over the Research Triangle and connect with scientists and science practitioners and people who just use science in their everyday life to make their lives, their businesses, and just their experience as a human being better. So I'm going to be one of your hosts, and so I'll be here pretty much every Friday guiding you through these experiences. When I was in school, we learned about a sailing vessel that had traveled all over the oceans doing science. And then we went to go visit the Mimi was the name of the ship. And we went to go visit it in the harbor in Baltimore. And it was really, really fun. Action.
My name is Jenna Gant. At the museum, I work primarily with school programs. Field Trip Fridays is this wonderful curated program that we're doing where we are going around the triangle and meeting dozens of different STEM professionals and doing fun activities with them and learning what they do day to day. Well, I am one of two hosts on Field Trip Friday, so I'll be chatting a lot with my friend Steve and with the STEM professionals that we're working with. And also I do some production work behind the scenes.
Hey y'all! So one of the experiences that I'm really excited to share with you is a behind-the-scenes experience, something that we would not normally get to visit even if we went to a place. So I'm really looking forward to helping you meet scientists and science practitioners and have them share with us and show us places that that nobody gets to go typically. And so one of those places here at the museum is a place called the Chrysalis Room. And so I'm here inside the Chrysalis Room, and I'm going to show you around parts of the Chrysalis Room. So thanks for joining me in this special part of the Butterfly House. If you've ever gotten to come here, you've been in the conservatory part probably, if you've been to the Butterfly House, but this is a special behind the scenes place where you don't normally get to go. And so I've been really, it's been my pleasure basically to show you this special place, this special part of our museum. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you at our next adventure.
On Field Trip Fridays, we usually will do an experiment. And today's experiment is all about aerodynamics. Steve, do you know what aerodynamics are?
Yeah, so aerodynamics is the relationship between objects and air. So the way that objects move or behave in the air.
That sounds so cool. And what are we going to do today with all this stuff?
So we're going to make something that interacts with air. And of course, we're always kind of interacting with air when we move our bodies through it, but today we're going to make some stuff that we can test in our wind tube.
So we're going to use some of the string, we have some tape, scissors, paper, and these fun little baskets that kind of look like the baskets we get a blueberry.
Yeah, I think so too, like a strawberry basket or something.
Yeah. So let's get started. What do you want your basket to do? Oh, you're going to use a cup.
I think I'm going to use a cup. I want to do a cup.
Okay. So Steve, what do you want your object to do?
So I think I want mine to come up and out of the tube. So I want it to be blown out. I want it to interact strongly enough with the wind in the wind tube that it's blown out of the tube. So
Cool.
That's what I'm going to try to make a design that it does that. We'll see.
We shall see. I think I want my object to twirl around inside of the tube. So I'm gonna find a way, I think I'm gonna make two objects too. So I'm gonna see what happens when I put paper in my basket so I can catch some of that air. Let's go try these out.
Yeah.
All right, you first, Steve, since you're already down there.
All right, here she goes. Whoa.
Nice. It definitely went a lot faster than last time. Let's see what happens with mine.
Whoa. That's high. Whoa, she's coming out.
She's coming out. Wow, that was great.
Oh, pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you may not have a wind tube at home, but another way to experiment with objects and aerodynamics is here in the wind tube, we were moving the air past the object, but we could also move the object through the air. So I've gotten up on this stool to drop the object, and it's gonna fall through all the air that's just in the room right now, and we can see what happens with my object and its aerodynamics, the way it interacts with the air. So I'm gonna drop my object, and we'll see what happens. Oh, it's
That's
loaded
nice.
up. Yeah.
That is nice. If you're climbing on furniture, make sure you're doing it safely.
Tell me about a moment of curiosity in your life.
When I was in 6th grade, I had the opportunity to go to a environmental learning center on the Chesapeake Bay, and there I was able to really submerge myself with my classmates and into wetlands ecosystems and bay biology. It was really awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I lived in Maryland for a little bit, and I got to go down to the bay. It was beautiful. It's cool.
So beautiful. Love all of the different animals and plant species that live there.
That's awesome.
What about for you? What was a moment of curiosity for you?
So I have had so many, curiosity has kind of driven a lot of my life, but one that really sticks out in my mind was just something that I thought I knew. So I played with bubbles, of course, my whole life, but then somewhere in my early 20s, I was playing with a set of bubbles, and it was early morning, it was dawn, and I was blowing bubbles just outside, and I was seeing them, and there were these little skeletons that would form right at the very end, the very moment that the bubble pops, the film that makes the bubble starts to get really thin, except for in these little places, these little galactic threads of bubble. And I just noticed that there's a moment where there's a bubble skeleton, and then it pops and joins into this drop and falls on the ground, and just that moment of finally kind of seeing that piece of bubble action, and having kind of never noticed it before, even though I played with thousands and thousands of bubbles. I was really curious for me, and so I sat there for I don't know, an hour or 2 hours or something, watching these bubbles skeletalize.
So tell me about a time that you had to embrace a failure of yours.
Yeah, so I've had a lot of moments that I look back on and I'm man, that was really hard, and I had to learn a lot from it. And so sometimes I think of those as maybe moments where I failed, where it didn't work the way I expected it. Mm-hmm. And those are definitely some of the things that I've learned the most. They're the things that are kind of burned into my memory, right? I remember those. And one of those moments is definitely, I went to science and engineering college, and I had to learn a lot of mathematics that I hadn't been prepared for in high school. And so I was really struggling to keep up and catch up with all of that. And when I was taking the first of the calculus courses that I had to take, which is really hard math, at least it certainly was for me, I couldn't do it. I failed. I failed that class, and I had to take it again. And I failed it again. and I failed it again.
Okay.
And I had to take it again. And eventually, of course, I learned this. Basically what I learned was how to learn that. Approach it like I had approached everything else. It was easy for me to study other subjects. I was good at these other sciences, these other things. This one was really hard, and I didn't know how to do it. And over those failures, I learned, okay, I need to go to study hall. I need to go talk to tutors. I need to learn from my peers. I need to adapt to all these new strategies that I never had to do before. And so consequently, when I came out of that, I was able to use those lessons for a bunch of other subjects too, not just calculus. I learned a lot of techniques.
That seems really hard.
It was really hard.
After being good at school and then not being, that sounds really, really hard.
It was definitely
but useful.
It was really good. I learned a lot, but it was a deep kind of blow to my ego. I was just oh man, I am not just good at everything.
Yeah.
There's things I'm gonna really, really have to work at.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Jenna? What's a moment where you think back in your life and you're man, that was not the way I expected it? Maybe even you'd consider it a failure. How you embraced that moment in your life.
Yeah, I mean, so failure for me, I have a similar academic history of being good at it and not doing well, not feeling, good when things don't go as well as you want them to. And kind of my academic history has framed how I see failure, and I feel like you said before, failure makes you very vulnerable. It's a very personal feeling.
So when I fail in areas professionally or in my private life or even like in a hobby, like, because I like to rock climb, you rock climb with me.
Oh, yeah.
And I think rock climbing is a great lesson in failure, because if you work very hard to get to different levels and different hardness or complexity in different levels, you have to fail so many times. And when you fail, you literally fall. And so rock climbing has really, really helped me understand to embrace that fall, how to fall safely and how to fall over and over and over again and not, be too upset about it. And I think that's something that it's a different kind of a feeling of like a personal failure, like your body is failing. You're not thinking that your body can do something and it's telling you it can't do something. So that is something that I really, really have tried to learn and grow from.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that my favorite part of failure is that if you embrace it, you can really grow from it.
Yes.
Like I ended up taking all of the calculus classes. I took Calc 1, Calc 2, Calc 3. I had to take a bunch of other mathematics, and it was only possible because I had to embrace that failure. I had to really latch onto it.
Yeah, and with rock climbing too. I mean, like I've gotten hurt falling. Like there's been points in my life where I've had to stop climbing for a really long time, and then I've lost a lot of like strength and flexibility. I had to start from almost the beginning to work my way back up, and that was really hard for me too. But all of those times have really have taught me how to like persevere and also learn from things that I've done wrong.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Jen.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you for joining us for Field Trip Fridays at the museum.
Now that you've gotten to see a little bit of what Field Trip Fridays can be, we're gonna do this out in the Research Triangle. We're gonna go meet cool places, cool people, and learn all sorts of awesome science along the way. Can't wait to see you there.
Sounds like so much fun.
Wow, that was so fun, Steve.
That was really fun.
Yeah, I'm really happy that we got to share that with you all. Do any of our friends at Forest View Elementary have any questions for us or comments or anything else that they would like to share? Or maybe even some of our mods who are on with us?
Yeah, it was really fun. Part of the reason we made this particular video was to give you a chance to get to know Jenna and myself a little bit better, so you have a kind of chance to know who we are a little bit. And so when we go out and meet other people, you're gonna meet them. But now you have a kind of a sense of who we are as kind of people and science practitioners ourselves and curious human beings.
Yes, and I was thinking, what a wonderful way to introduce this series of videos then at the museum where there are so many fun things. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're getting some questions.
One of our comments is, so some folks have said they miss being at the museum. Oh, we miss you too.
So much.
And so this is an awesome question. Why did we both choose to work at a science museum? So I'll let you go first, Jenna.
Sure. The first thought that I had is I love science, and I also love sharing that with other people. So this gave me a really awesome chance to share the things that I learn and also learn alongside with other people, particularly kids. And I love learning with kids and helping other kids learn too.
Yeah, I really resonate. And obviously part of the reason that Jenna and I work so closely together is that we resonate with each other's kind of reason for being here. But I really am close to that too. I really value science being seen as a community. It's a tool and a community. And I worked for many years as kind of a professional scientist in research, and I loved that. But I always felt like I was kind of in my own community, like that was kind of apart from the rest of my larger community. And I really wanted those to be much closer, because I think science is really important for people to use and understand. I think that all human beings use it as a tool every single day of their lives, and understanding that is a really important part of living.
And that's something that we want to also share in this series too, is seeing how all different people from all over the triangle and all walks of life use science in their professional life and how they help others too.
Absolutely. We really want everyone that ever sees this to really view themselves as a scientist. You are living a life in science, whether you kind of say that to yourself or not. And we're really hoping that more and more folks will start to say to themselves, I am a scientist. I'm living a life in science. I am a scientist.
Yeah, and it looks like that's all the time that we have. We can get ready to wrap up.
Absolutely. So I wanted to give some special thanks. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to do this. So we have, of course, our partners at Durham Public Schools. So all of you, our lovely audience, thank you so much for being a part of this project. Thank you also to Willow Alston Soha and Dr. Linda Tugurian, who are your Durham Public School science specialists. Thank you so much for working with us on this project. Thank you, Max Colley is one of Jenna and I's colleagues here. He's a program manager at the Museum of Life and Science. Thank you for modding and helping us set up all this technology. And of course, thank you very, very much to Elizabeth Godwin's class at Forest View Elementary School. Thank you for hosting us. It was really, really wonderful to chat with you and hang out with you. And thanks for just being curious and being involved and engaged in your education. Thank you so much.
Can't wait to chat with you all and see what we can cook up for next week, huh?
Absolutely. I'm super excited for next week.
Yes. So see you all then. Take care.
Stay curious.
So long.